The biggest question I've always asked myself is how free are we? I know this seems to be a general statement that everybody asks themselves, but personally, it's something that I've always asked. So I wanted to talk about seatbelts for my persuasive writing speech. Seatbelts are a law in the state of Massachusetts. In any chance that you are driving or even a passenger in any car, you are you are responsible for wearing a seatbelt. You can get fined, and we've all heard the term "click it or ticket." That comes from the fine. So my question of how free are we comes from why does the government get to decide whether or not we wear a seatbelt? We're told that they save our lives, but how true is that? I'll start off with my presentation and we can talk about that. Seatbelts save lives, which we're always told. In my survey, I asked just my group of friends that I always hang out with. So basically, do you own a car, truck, or SUV? All the guys that I'm friends with basically own trucks and SUVs. They do not actually wear their seatbelts. All the females that I'm friends with decide all have cars, and they always said that they wore their seatbelts, that they felt like they needed it. Um, that answers question two, whether or not you wear a seatbelt or not, which it was funny how it corresponded with each other. The guys had trucks and SUVs, the girls all had cars, and the people that were driving the trucks and SUVs all felt that they did not need to wear a seatbelt, whereas and if they had a car, they felt that they did. Why or why not? Like we just talked about. And do you know it's the law? Everybody knows that it's the law in Massachusetts. Click it or ticket. They have TV advertisements for it, and we all just generally know it's what we were taught in driver's education. This is my truck. I actually purchased it because I felt safer in it than anything else. My previous car was just a small little Pontiac Grand Am, and I felt absolutely unsafe in the car. I always wore my seatbelt. It felt like it could flip over at any given moment. Probably just a little bit too much power and not enough weight in the car. So I purchased the Tahoe ultimately because I had lost a few friends in high school in a car accident, and I felt that it was much safer buy for me. Having a V8 engine in front of me when I collide with anything else just felt like it was going to save me in the long run than any other car that I could possibly get into. A full-size SUV just seems like it was a logical buy. The car actually, when I purchased it, did not have that great of crash star ratings. I found out later on. However, the car was always 100% safe. I never felt like I should wear my seatbelt. Maybe I wore my seatbelt a handful of times. That was probably when my mom was yelling at me to wear it whenever she was in the car. But this, I think that it's a matter of feeling. I felt safer, so I felt like I should not have to wear my seatbelt. And this is my new Ultima. I just purchased this last week actually, and I was very nervous about getting into a car. Like I said, losing two friends in high school was devastating, and it was something that it was a huge step down. I went from a V8 engine to a four-cylinder in front of me, and I felt like if I collided with a tree, a Mack truck, anything, that this was going to be horrible, 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 horrible. Ultimately, a Mack truck would probably just kill you either way. But I felt like I had more of a chance in the truck. Like I was more on top of the world, whereas now I'm down low, smaller car, smaller engine, maybe not as safe. So I did the research and I found out that this actually has better crash star ratings. However, the feeling is not there. I feel a little less safe than I did in my truck. My truck provided a much more comfortable, more smooth ride, and ultimately, all around, because it was so big and it was bigger than all the other things in the road, I felt safer. I can't imagine having the Ultima and the Tahoe go head to head and see who comes out. I'm sure the Tahoe's going to win, which doesn't make me feel any better. That is the end of my slideshow. So, what I'm ultimately talking about is the fact that the government decided that they should require seatbelts. Seatbelts actually only save you 50% of the time, which I learned in my driver's education course. So I wondered what could the other 50% be, and for some reason, the government felt that they needed to make the move and require seatbelts, which I did not feel like was the correct move. I feel like it's all a matter of safety, and it's my life, whether I want to wear my seatbelt or I don't want to wear my seatbelt. I think that it's kind of a general thought that everybody feels safer in a truck or SUV than they do in a smaller car. I can't even imagine getting into one of those little tiny Priuses or anything of that sort after. I feel like this is already a step down in my Ultima. Um, this speech is basically to persuade you to maybe stand up for the right of making your own actions, whether just being as small as wearing a seatbelt, and whether or not we should have that law. I hope that this helped you, and have a great day.